go. Welcome to the 24th floor on this Thursday afternoon. We are taking a step back from the court, jumping on the track for the upcoming Ed Murphey Classic coming to Memphis this weekend. Classic president Eddie Murphy will join the show, and we got an NBA champion and former Tiger will hop on to celebrate his upcoming Hall of Fame induction. We got to get a lot going today, so let's jump into it. 24th floor starts right now. Joining me on the show today, it is Mr. Eddie Murphy, president of the Ed Murphey Classic, the annual track meet that comes to Memphis every summer. I know this is a busy week for you, friend. How you doing?
I'm
nerves okay?
Man, I'm doing great. It's an amazing event that we've got going. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year, so we're really excited about the 9th annual Ed Murphy Classic.
You are not the Ed Murphy of the Ed Murphy Classic.
Absolutely.
You are his son.
Absolutely. It's a legacy. So
give me a little bit of background about your pops.
Absolutely. So 9 years ago, Mike Cody, a good friend of his, called me in on the phone and said, "Hey, Eddie, we want to bring some Olympians in to break the 4-minute barrier in Memphis. It's never been done." And he said, "You want to be involved?" And I said, "Absolutely, be honored to have my dad's legacy named and have the first 4-minute barrier broken." And so we brought in some Olympians. We raised $12,000. We brought in some Olympians, and we brought in some 1,500 meter for the women, ran it around a hoka meet at Christian Brothers High School, and 12 guys ran. 2 of them broke the 4-minute barrier. The third one ran a 4.00.01. But they had such a great time. They came to our house, and they said, "Hey, where can we go after burgers and some beers at our house?" And I said, "Well, look, go down to Beale Street and go to Rayford's and enjoy yourself." And so they had the best time in Memphis. And I work for First Horizon Bank, who's one of our lead sponsors. And I was going to Pittsburgh on business the next morning, and I ran into the 2 guys that broke the 4-minute barrier. They just left the drums at Rayford's.
Having a good time.
They had a great time, but what they were doing was they were flying to Ireland for the next meet. Mm-hmm. And they said, "Hey, Mr. Murphy, we had such a great time in the city of Memphis, downtown. Could you put on another meet? Because there's very few track meets in the United States." And so, you know what? We rolled our sleeves up. I found Max Paquette, who's an amazing meet director, and we put this thing together, and we've rolled up our sleeves, and we've gone to year 9. You know, if we're not the number 2 meet in the United States, we are scratching at the surface. Eugene, Oregon, Prefontaine Classic, the 50th anniversary was last weekend, was amazing. We've got a number of athletes. We're working with Prefontaine Classic to hang out with athletes over there, let them train for a while, and then we fly them to Memphis, put them up. We've got 450 professional athletes this weekend from 45 different countries and over 70 Olympians.
Yeah. So that is our big idea for the day, is the Ed Murphy Classic coming back to Memphis. Go ahead and give me the animation. I know they're chomping at the bit for it. The Ed Murphy Classic returns this Friday and Saturday, the 11th and 12th. It is sanctioned by USA Track and Field. Year after year brings, like you were saying, world-class and Olympic track and field athletes to Memphis on Beale Street and the U of M campus as well. In the past, we've had stars like Harrison Williams have been here, Sam Kendricks, who's an Olympian, Kyrie King, who was just in Memphis last month, and this year's main event, the 400, as Olympic gold medalist Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone will attempt to break the women's 400 world record. So we will get into all those big things. You kind of started where we were going to go anyway, just how big that this has grown over the course of, I guess this is your 9th year now. As you've watched it grow, what have you guys learned about what it takes to put on this classic year over year? And then I'll have a follow-up question for that after that.
Avery, that's a great question, because we've been fortunate enough to basically be mentored by a lot of great people. I mentioned the Prefontaine Classic. That's run by Tracktown USA. That's Phil Knight's group over there, and they've kind of taken us under their wing, and we are collaborating with them for like 6 or 7 years. And we've got people like John Nubani, who's one of the top agents in the world. And it turns out that I do a lot of business in Pittsburgh. He's from Pittsburgh, one of the top agents, but he also runs a meet in Doha. We have it's a little God wink. It always takes something to make something really special. And in Memphis, he and I have a connection from a bank that I dealt with, who was also a lawyer, the president. And one thing led to another, and he like, "Ed, if you're a friend of Mel Bassey's, you're a friend of mine, I'm gonna mentor you and take you around the world and put you in meetings to learn how to be a great track meet." And so he's done that. He's fulfilled his obligation. We keep continuing to grow. Been to Budapest, been to Zurich, been in meetings. And you know what? We're just growing, and we're doing it the right way. We've grown really slowly for us. But you know what? It's picked up really big time this year because USATF, the governing body of all track and field in the United States, has been endorsing us for 7 years. Now they're sponsoring us.
Yeah,
so it's amazing. It's huge. So it's great for Memphis. It's great for our community because we're a nonprofit. We can get into what we're doing with our kids in a few minutes on that too.
Yeah, how much has this classic, you talk about it growing, but how important has it become just to track and field, not only in Memphis, but kind of in the grander scheme of trying to have athletes be ready and prepared as the Olympics are coming back to the States here in a year?
Avery, it's so important for that because like Christian Coleman was one of the last guys to beat Usain Bolt. He won my dad's award at the University of Tennessee 2 times when he was there, and then turned pro, Olympic gold medalist. He can't come this week. Ran into Prefontaine last week, wasn't feeling good, so he needs some downtime. But he texted me, we were talking, he goes, Eddie, I'm really proud of what you're doing. He goes, there's so few track meets in America. I know your meet is going to take off, and I'm really praying for you. And you know what? It really is, because look, it takes fortune, takes good luck to do anything. We happen to be in the right place at the right time here in Memphis because we got a head start on everybody because the Olympics are coming 2028. Last year, everything was in Paris. 2 years ago, we finished 25th in the world. Last year, we finished 42nd because everybody needed to be in Europe the week leading up to it to get adapted for their bodies and time clocks. But you know what, 2028, they've all got to be on American soil. And as Paul Doyle, that's the American Track League president and founder, we were just on a radio call and he said, we are the #2 meet in the United States right now, and we're growing. And I mean, this community, wrap yourself around this, what we're doing, because it is truly an amazing event. We need more people to come out and see these amazing athletes that we have right here on Memphis.
Now, who can we expect? We talked about Sydney McGloin. We'll get into her in just a second. But you had a list of we got all these cats coming into Memphis this weekend. It's going to be. So what can people expect in terms of the actual events and the athletes that'll be?
Absolutely. So I've got a little list here because it's I figured it all out. But Will Clegg, we got a phone call this morning at 5 a.m. Memphis is competing directly with the Diamond League meet in Monaco. Memphis, Monaco, figure that out.
Right.
But Will was in Detroit, Michigan this morning at 5 a.m. His flight got canceled. So he calls our meet director and says, hey, can I get in the meet? So this guy is one of the
You're like, no, we're full.
Yeah, we actually joked with him and told him to say we got room. And he was like, what? But anyway, he's one of the best triple jumpers in the world. He's 2-time Olympic silver medalist, 2-time world champion silver medalist. I think he's jumped 18.4, something like that. But he's coming to Memphis. That was a late addition, but just to think about that, Monaco was #1. They'll be top 5 in the world. We may be top 15, 20 in the world here this year. He thought of us immediately, and he wants to come. We've got, obviously, Sydney McGloin coming to run the 400 meters, which she is trying to break the American record in the 400 meters and the world record in the.
And what's wild about that is that's not even her event.
No,
she's a hurdler.
Yeah, she's
by trade, and she's kind of like, I just want to run the 400.
Absolutely, she's the world record holder in the 400 meter hurdles, and she's taken it down over the last 4 years, something like that. Don't quote me on this, but it's like 2.5 seconds. I mean, that's like Wilt Chamberlain scoring 150 points in a basketball game. I mean, it's incredible.
Incredible.
And it may not even be our best race. We've got the 400 meters. We've got Quincy Wilson, the 16-year-old, that won the 400 meter in Paris last year.
Right.
And then we've got Stephen Gardner, who won the Olympic gold in Tokyo in 2021. So that might be our best event. But my goodness, our shot putters, y'all, we're going to be, if everything goes to form, we'll be top 3 in the world with our shot putters. We have 4 guys that have thrown over 22 meters. And we just lost Joe Kovac because he was tired after the Prefontaine. Yeah. And we're still going to be #3. Yeah. It's amazing what's coming on down here. It's amazing. And we talked about Harrison Williams. Sorry, I've got to look at my notes, but Harrison Williams is coming. He came in for a camp to teach our inner city kids how to do some things. And he went to MUS, went to Stanford, finished 5th in the Paris Olympics. And he and I were talking 2 years ago about him coming, and he couldn't come because of the Olympics, but he finally got him here to come to give back to our youth in the community. And I said, Harrison, what do you need? And he goes, Eddie, we're 2.5 weeks before the U.S. Championships. And he goes, I don't need a full decathlon, but I can bring you the best in the world for whatever we need to decide. And they decided on 3 events. So we're having a triathlon. It starts at 6:30. It'll run all night. We got Harrison Williams, USA champ. We've got Pierce LePage, the world champion. And then we've got Damian Warner, who's the Olympic champion.
Yeah, it's incredible that you can bring all these guys, champions, Olympians, world-class athletes. They come to Memphis. Not only are they coming and they're able to compete, but they're also being able to check out your city, right? And that's just kind of one of those things where it always becomes a really good thing for the city of Memphis in terms of visibility, right? And kind of changing some of those narratives that we know that Memphis tends to get. Jumping into
real quick,
go ahead. Yeah, sure.
Stacks and Son Studio. I mean, don't play. Memphis, I mean, I know we beat ourselves up quite a bit, but we were invited to this party by the athletes because they love Memphis. Yeah. Let's just stick with that narrative right there, and let's just go forward from there. That's amazing to me.
It is. The debris headliner this year is Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni. She's coming this year, gold medalist, record holder in the 400-meter hurdles. Like you said, doesn't sound like she's running the 400 hurdles, but she wants to run that 400 meters. Why do you think it is that she's kind of locking in on that?
So there's very few athletes ever in the history that have won 2 events in the Olympics and held the world record. And so she already dominates the 400 hurdles. Right. So she wants to dominate the 400 meters. I mean, she ran 49 something at Prefontaine and wasn't happy. And we've been talking with her for two or three months about her coming. We've worked with, Sha'Carri Richardson. We've had so many just scratching the door that know about our meet, and for some reason they just didn't come at the last minute. Nike decides that they're going to do a promo and they got to go to New York.
Sure, yeah.
But we're in the game. We're with all these people and they know about us and they care. And quite frankly, a lot of these Olympians and the non-Olympians, the ones that are chasing them, they know about our Murphy Track Club and then what we're doing in the inner city, and they want to give back. They want to help our kids, expose them to something that's positive from a character building and things like that, and lift them up. And look, every city has their problems, and we have ours. And you know what? We are a small part of moving that needle and making things better because we're giving kids an opportunity in the summertime to do their thing.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that a little bit earlier in the summer, right, where the Shelby County schools held their track youth camp, right? And you guys sponsored that. You brought in Kyrie King, who was an Olympian. You brought in Tania Marshall as well, who is a hurdler as well on the 100 meters. And it was so cool to allow those kids to kind of, you see how wide their eyes are for those who are following the sport, and they realize who just walked through the gate. And they're learning. You can see their wheels turning and they're asking questions. And then they had a chance to run in front of them, right?
Absolutely.
And that just kind of felt like it meant the world to those kids. And it is cool that you are bringing this sport a lot more visibility in Memphis because we have Olympians who've come out of this city, right? And I think that's one of the coolest things that we've been able to do, or this city has been able to do. I say we, like I'm the one who's done anything, but as you are looking forward to this weekend, what's kind of the thing that you're hoping stands out the most? About
before we go there, let's talk about the Murphy Track Club there, or what we've done. So India Weaver, the athletic director at Memphis Shelby County Schools, is an amazing individual. Rod Richmond, superintendent, amazing individual. They care about our kids. India and I have been working together for 9 years. 3 years ago, we found out that the Shelby County school system has a summer program for football, basketball, baseball, cheerleading. They didn't have a track and field. And I said, India, can we put it on? So we did it 3 years ago. We brought in Olympians every year. We do brown skin yoga. Coming through COVID, kids have issues. Because it's all inner city schools. It's all Memphis Shelby County schools. And just to be able to do that and provide an opportunity for those kids for 3 years now, absolutely love it. 8,510 kids, 120 kids. It keeps growing because, we just need to get the word out that this is here.
Yeah.
And then the kids, they're in the Shelby County camp. It's a 1 week intensive from 8 to 1. And the Murphy Track Club, we're this year at Halley Stadium, we're at Raleigh, Egypt, and we're at Cordova High School. And so we're Monday, Tuesday, Thursday from 5:30 to 7:15. And so the kids in the Memphis Shelby County schools get exposed to it. We don't need a champion. We just move, just get moving. And we care about you. If you want to just come out, and we provide we provide everything for them. We great looking uniforms, good stuff. Got our tiger blue and the big orange on there, and we're just lifting those kids and giving them an opportunity and looking forward to helping move the needle in the city a little bit.
For sure.
It's wonderful.
For sure. Well, that will be something you guys continue to do throughout the summer. Ed Murphey Classic will be Friday and Saturday. Tell people how they can get involved, how they can get tickets, all that good kind of stuff before we let you go.
Absolutely. So we've got some Olympians Friday night on Beale Street. We're going to start at 6 o'clock. We actually added a couple years ago the Murphy Mile. So if you're a community and you're a runner and you want to come run a mile, go sign up on edmurphyclassic.com for the race. That's at 6 o'clock, and then after they run, then we'll have pros running around the cobblestones. They'll start and finish on Beale Street right there by Alfred's. And then when they're done, we'll start the women's pole vault, and we'll have some of the top athletes in the world coming in for the women. And when they're done, we have some of the top men in the world coming in pole vault right there on Beale Street.
And that's something you don't want to miss. That is such a cool thing to see on
It
Beale
is
Street.
really cool. It's I was talking to John Shivers, who runs Beale Street Association. We had 21,000 people there last year, and that's all over Beale Street, but not necessarily just for the pole vault, but the weekend before it was like 11,000 people. So it is really something special to come out and watch these kids. As a beautiful sunset right there on Beale, it's all lit up. It's a spectacle.
It's a good time, something you don't want to miss. This is Eddie Murphy, son of the Ed Murphy of the Ed Murphy Classic. That'll be Friday and Saturday this weekend, something you don't want to miss. Be there at Beale Street on Friday and the U of M campus on Saturday. Mr. Murphy, we appreciate it, and
Avery,
best of luck this weekend. We'll look forward to seeing you guys.
Man, I appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate you.
Of course, of course.